Carlie Irsay-Gordon. She is the new owner of the Indianapolis Colts, and perhaps you've been introduced to her this season because they've been putting her everywhere on TV. Look at Carlie Irsay-Gilmore. She's on Gilmore. Carlie Irsay-Gordon. I just told on myself by what that name slipped. Carlie Irsay-Gordon. She's been pictured everywhere on the sidelines. She's the new Blindside. She's the new it girl of the NFL. This is all intentional. She's taken over. Her father, Jim Irsay, had been the owner of the Indianapolis Colts. He passes away, and now she magically appears as the team's owner and standing on the sideline. And she is what I'm calling an example of the equalizers. And this whole feminist movement we have going on in the National Football League with all of these equalizers. And the women, the equalizers, the TV show with Queen Latifah, where she pretends to be Denzel Washington from the Equalizer movies, where Latifah at 55 years old and 280 pounds or so is jumping off balconies and beating up men. You ever watch that? I think it's on CBS, The Equalizer. Well, they've now moved all of that into the National Football League, into the ownership level of the National Football League. And this is all intentional, and it's all a part of this feminist wave that is overtaking the planet, but America beyond question. American culture, American society, the feminist movement has overtaken everything. And that's why we have women like Carlie Irsay-Gordon pretending to be some sort of football savant and standing on the sidelines with headsets on and listening to the coaches. And so yesterday, the Colts have their end-of-season press conference, and the great equalizer here, Carlie Irsay-Gordon, the woman king of the Indianapolis Colts, had some really tough things she needed to get off her chest about Shane Steichen, the head coach, and Chris Ballard and the pressure that they're under and how she's not happy. And this, again, owners at the end of seasons when teams don't make the playoffs or even when they do, they have end-of-season press conferences and they say things. But why was ESPN, why was the national media so focused on Carlie? And it's because of what she represents, this feminist wave that is coming into the National Football League. And if women can overtake the NFL, that should be a message to you that they can overtake, and they are overtaking all of American society. But let's listen to this super NFL owner, the Colts equalizer, as she summarizes the pressure under Shane Steichen and Chris Ballard.
To our fans, my sisters and I want to extend our heartfelt gratitude for your loyalty and support, as always, but particularly this season. You're right to be frustrated with how the latter part of our season went. I'm pissed. We are all pissed. Every season is unique, and this season really was a tale of two seasons in one. We were all encouraged by our first half. We experienced a lot of progress, which gives us optimism for the future and the direction we are heading as a team. Then, adversity struck. But no matter what the circumstances are, we have to be able to find a way to win and finish games. Even though we didn't get the results we expected, I'm confident in what we're building and how we're building it. So, with that said, Chris will continue as our general manager, and Shane will continue as our head coach for this next season. We have been very clear with Chris and Shane that giving them another opportunity means that the sense of urgency for them to deliver and perform has never been higher.
This is a script. For those of you that are just listening over Apple or just listening to the podcast and you can't see Carlie here, the Colts owner, She's looking down every fourth word at notes in front of her. She's reading a script. She's pretending to be a male leader by reading a script. This is all scripted and intentional. The focus on Carlie, the NFL's leaning into, in 2022, NFL owners put out a statement saying that diversity in ownership was an important goal for the NFL. And so they've been ushering in all of this female leadership into the National Football League. And they've described, this is why they've defined diversity as the most important thing. And anything that's diverse, anything that promotes something that's not male, patriarchal, and white, that's all good. And that's why they all sit around on the sidelines or stand around on the sidelines, inspire change everywhere. Because anything that disrupts tradition, anything that disrupts biblical patriarchy, anything that disrupts male authority and leadership, it's all good. It's a positive. It's a sign of progress. And so, look, Jim Irsay and the Irsay family have owned the team. Jim Irsay had daughters as children. Who else was he going to leave the team to? I get it. And she is not. If you go look through the history of the National Football League, she is not the first daughter to inherit a team. She is not the first widow to inherit a team. This has been going on for a long time. Is it Virginia McCaskey, I think, with the Bears in 1983? But I think even before then, there was some woman maybe back in the 40s or 50s that inherited a team or whatever. This has been going on. I get that. But it's the hyper focus on Carlie Irsay-Gordon, putting her on the sidelines and doing stories. When the Colts were off to an 8-2 start, she was the hottest thing in the NFL. She's holding the coaches accountable. She's on the sidelines during the games. She's on headsets. Let's do stories about it. This is the future of the NFL. We've never seen anything like this. Girl power everywhere. And I want to let's put up the big graphic of all these different women they've given ownership roles, and then we'll zero in on the main crew. But this is what handing out these ownership titles, co-ownership titles. Big Katie Blackburn is the executive vice president. She is Mike Brown's daughter. Mike Brown's 90. He won't be around for long. Katie Blackburn will soon be the owner of the Bengals. She's 60 years old. But this is all orchestrated and intentional by the National Football League for female leadership to displace male leadership in the most masculine sport in the history of America. Boxing, I get it. But America's pastime is football. It's been a male bastion, and it's being completely disrupted. And this is all intentional. It's all messaging. The patriarchy is a bad thing. Diversity is a good thing. The matriarchy is a good thing. The messaging is that you keep falling for, many of you keep falling for, is that, hey, male leadership has failed. That's why there's so much chaos in the world. And it's time for women to take over. The National Football League is the most powerful force in popular culture. And in order to get a message across, in order to normalize matriarchal rulership, you need the most strongest force in popular culture to be promoting the matriarchy. And that's what the NFL is doing with their female ownership agenda and movement, with their diversity, equity, and inclusion agenda. And if you're a man listening to me right now, and you're like, hey, man, I agree with Whitlock. Here's the other thought that's running through your mind. I can never say it. I can never say it publicly that I agree with Whitlock on this issue. Because you're sitting there going, man, at my company, if they knew I thought like that, I could never get a promotion. And there's some female boss somewhere who will come after my job because I'll be branded as a sexist pig. Men aren't even allowed to think what they really think. We're not really free. We can't even think what we really think. We can't even follow the Bible. Because there's a penalty to pay for that in this world that they have created today. And women are in control. Even if they don't have numbers, they don't have to overtake everything. They just have to have enough of a voice inside the NFL, inside Ford Motor Company, inside Chrysler Motor Company, inside General Motors, inside whatever industry you're talking about. They have enough influence. If there's a feminist sitting in the meeting room, they can say, well, that's sexist. Watch how many men fold. Yeah, I agree, that's sexist. Because they know if they don't, they're putting their own job and status and promotion and pay in jeopardy. And most of these men are cowards. Most of these men, and I'm talking about I don't care if they're right wing, left wing, or whatever. Most of them are cowards. They're not going to take on these feminists.